What's up? Thanks for checking out my video. No, seriously, thanks for clicking this video. In this video, I'm going to be installing my new Big Country Labs Empennage spoiler. I think I say it different every time. I don't know how to say it. Let's ask Google.
Empennage. Empennage.
I still don't know. The methods that I use in this video should help you with installing any type of one-piece spoiler, and some of the techniques might also help you if you're installing like a GT wing or something of that nature. If you're in the middle of trying to figure out how to install a spoiler and you're anything like me when I'm in the middle of a project, then you want to get to the good stuff, the nitty-gritty, right away, and you don't got time for nothing else. So if that's you, skip to about here. Respect. If you have just a minute, I'd like to talk to you really quick. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. No part of me wants to be a famous YouTuber. Would it be nice if eventually my channel was monetized and I made a little bit of money from doing this? Heck yeah, it would be. If I made like $25 a month, I would be super stoked. But my main goal is just to be helpful to other people, especially car enthusiasts. Whether it's helping someone with a DIY project with a tutorial type video, or it's just my ideas inspiring someone else's creativity. There are a few things that you can do to help. First one is subscribe. Even if you rarely watch YouTube or you don't really care about car videos, just click the button and subscribe. You never have to watch another one. The higher my subscriber count goes, then the more likely it is that these videos get suggested to people, and the more likely it is that some of these videos can help people with their car projects, because that's all I want in the end. The next thing that you can do is click the like button. It's right there. It's just one click. Just click it. Right now. Go ahead, take a second. Just click it. There's no way that I have said something already to make you dislike the video. The other thing that you can do is just leave me a comment. Not only does it help because it shows that people are engaging with the content, but also it helps me know what people like and dislike. And if there's anything that I know in this world is people love sharing their dislikes. Anyways, that's all I got on all that. Now let's get to installing this wing. Hi, I'm Nate. This is my channel where I do car stuff. First thing I needed to do was make a template to mount the wing. If I learned anything from my last project of installing the hood vent, a good template is the best way to succeed at a project like this. I started off by using just a piece of paper and putting it on the mounting surface of the wing and tracing where the holes go. Basically, if you can get the holes in the right location, the rest is pretty easy. So then I took that paper with the traced holes to a piece of poster board, and then I used a pick and made some small pilot holes in the poster board and then a drill bit, and I literally just drilled into the poster board, and these are the bolt holes. These are where the bolts are going to go. Now for these bolt holes on your template, you're going to want them to be the exact size. You really don't want any play with the bolt in the holes. On mine, the bolt literally threaded into the poster board and held itself there. So then I took the poster board with the bolts in it and literally bolted it to the mounting surface of the wing. I turned the bolts all the way down and got them pretty snug so the poster board wouldn't move. And then I trimmed around the foot, getting the shape of it, and I left myself 2 tabs to tape down. You always want to be careful using sharp objects around brand new parts especially. I recommend using a pair of scissors over a razor blade or an X-Acto knife for this. I also recommend wrapping some masking tape around the mounting foot of your wing just to help ensure that you don't scratch it. And then I tape them to the feet of the wing. You don't need much tape for this because you're going to want to be able to pull this off pretty easily, so just tape it down just enough so it's not going to move on you and you can take the bolts out. try and get the spoiler mounted to the trunk. My wife tried to help me figure out where to place it, and what we were struggling with was finding a way to measure it to make sure it was even this way, make sure it's going straight across the trunk. Side to side, I did kind of the same way I did the hood scoop, and I found the center of the trunk and the center of the wing, and I was just lining those up, but to make sure that it wasn't twisted. We were having trouble figuring out where to pull measurements from to maybe measure to the feet. So I think I might have worked something up to solve that. I'll show you what I'm doing. Once again, I got the handy laser level out. I pulled tape from the corner of the trunk and went 10 inches down and put a mark. I did that on both sides. I got the laser tied to the garage door, and I got the mark running from my Sharpie mark from one side to the other. So I'm hoping that that is what I can do, is use that straight line and measure from that to the feet of the wing when I have it in place. All right, so I'm definitely close. The one thing I'm still struggling with, the spoiler with the extra flap on it is very back heavy. It wants to go backward. So what I'm struggling with is keeping it down flat no matter how much tape I put on it. And then it dawned on me, maybe I would have better luck taping it up to the roof. Maybe that would hold it flat better. So give that a shot. Running the tape up to the roof actually ended up working out great. It held down the spoiler much better. I got the spoiler in place. I double checked measurements to make sure I had it where I wanted it. Then I triple checked the measurements, and once I knew it was perfect, I backed away slowly. Now that I had the wing perfectly in place, I carefully taped down the tabs of the templates to the trunk lid. Then I carefully removed the tape holding the templates to the mounting feet. Now I was able to lift off the wing, leaving the templates perfectly placed on the trunk lid, giving me the exact location of where to drill the holes. I added some extra tape to the templates just to make sure that they were fully secured down and that they wouldn't shift while I drilled the holes. For drilling the bolt holes, I could not find my center punch anywhere, so I just used a small drill bit and drilled a very small pilot hole, and then worked my way up little by little in drill bit size until eventually I got to a step bit and drilled out the perfect size holes for the bolts. Alright, so hit a little bit of a snag. A little bit is me not thinking it all the way through. I drilled the hole through, and one of the holes on each side was going to hit part of the structural support that was just unavoidable with where the wing needed to go. So I drilled it out with a hole saw, thinking, boom, that would fit. But what I overlooked is that the actual hardware has these big washers. That is not going to work. My plan is to cut it with the grinder so the washer can fit down in there. Even if it has to overlap this part a little bit, that'll be fine. I just want the washer to sit closer to flush. I was going to take the trunk off and then work on grinding some of this out and welding in a patch if I need to. But to do that, you have to unhook the latch and feed the latch cable back through the structure. I took the latch out, got it all unhooked, and then I started kind of testing it to see how hard it would be to get that cable back through, and I don't think I would have ever got it back through, and I don't want that big of a headache. Nope. I'm going to cut these out and maybe deal with this while it's on the car. I got a moving blanket over the rear windshield, a little bit of my leftover tape holding it in place, and then mostly just to keep metal flakes out of the car, I took some of the packaging that the wing came in and laid that over the top. Now I'm going to try and do it while it's on the car. Alright. Always wear safety glasses. Oh, sorry. There. So I went through, I ground out all the rust. There was a couple spots where they were definitely more of a rot and penetrating through. So what I ended up doing with that is I took my step drill bit and then just drilled it out. I think I got it all out that way. It's kind of looking like some Swiss cheese at the moment. I'm going to need to go back through and weld patches into that. And I will need to take the trunk lid off for that, I think. I don't want to try and do it while it's on the car. Knowing my luck, I will burn the car down. And I don't have it in me to mess with that today. I'm just going to hit that with some primer and I will come back to it. It still feels like it's got a lot of structure, rigidity to it. I don't feel anything in that. It doesn't feel squishy or anything. So that'll be a future project. So now the washers fit just perfectly into the holes, but the front hole on each side had to go through multiple layers of metal. And those washers were sitting half on 2 layers and half on 1 layer of metal. And they didn't sit flat, they had a lot of play to them. So it probably wouldn't have been a big deal at all, but I like to get a little carried away. So I found another washer that was the exact same in my spare nuts and bolts bin. I cut it in half and then I welded each half to those washers, making half of the washers twice as thick, taking up some of that gap and taking out some of that wobble. I didn't get any video of the results, but it really did help. And I just figured that that would help distribute some of that load from tightening that bolt. Like I said before, I get a little carried away, and making specialty washers was probably overkill.
Overkill.
If you run into an issue like this, you probably won't have to do this. I just figured I had an extra washer, a grinder, and a welder, so why not? After that, all that was left to do was bolt in the spoiler and take off the remaining masking tape. All the holes lined up really good and everything went super smooth. The more that you put into the prep work on this sort of thing, like making good templates and making sure your holes are going to line up, the easier the actual install will go.
Yeah. It's heavy. Famous love. Yeah, I gotta keep it trendy on my soul. I'm the most selfish person that I know. Here we go, down the rabbit hole. Got a couple carrots around my neck. Self-respect, when you out of line, you put yourself in check. They don't hear me, they don't hear me though. Cycles going round and round and round like a merry-go. Stand for truth, or fall for any old scenario. That's why I keep my circle smaller than a Cheerio. Cause this the company you keep. Stay woke, please don't get caught sleep. End up sowing what you reap. Know your worth, and don't sell cheap. The ghost is inside of me, can't take it out of me. No matter where I've been, it's about where I'm meant to be. I be shining perfect time and check your watch. And I know who I am no longer lost. I got tired of walking around with a mask on, smiling but my heart singing sad songs. Yeah.
The Big Country Labs Empennage spoiler is installed. It took me a little bit longer to get it done than I thought it would, but I just took my time and tried to make sure that I did it right. There's probably some shortcuts I could have taken and some steps that I didn't need to worry about. Or simplified things somewhere, maybe, but it's done. Everything is square, side to side, front to back, all that is within less than 1/16 of an inch. It is as perfect as it can get. I'm pretty happy with how the install went. I really didn't hit any snags. My template idea worked out pretty well. If I did it over again, the only thing that I would do different is I would put the tabs on the front and the back to tape down and not the sides. It definitely though would be easier to get the spoiler in place and then tape the front and the back rather than trying to stick your hands underneath and tape down the sides like I had to do. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That was a pain, so I think really that's the only thing I would do different. So yeah, everything's good. I love the way it looks. This spoiler is a little bit squarer than their other one that they make, and it definitely fits the body lines of these old early 90s cars. When I was mocking it up originally, I put it way farther back. Being that this comes down the side of the car kind of like a 326 Power Wing, in my head I was thinking about a 326 wing and how they look really good set as far back as possible. Some of them even have like the corner mounts on the corner of the trunk, and they sit back and then come up alongside the car. So that's what I was thinking in my head, but then it just didn't look right. And then I realized that this angle right here kind of mimics a ducktail spoiler. And so what I did is I used a ruler and held it against this flap and then found right where it would meet the corner of the trunk, because that's how a duckbill spoiler would be mounted. So that's what I used in my head to mount it and for positioning, and I think that definitely was the way to go. So that's it. I'm super stoked with it. It came out really well. Please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this DIY car stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one.
No cell phone. Man, you talking to the real me. Yeah. Man, you talking to the real me. Yeah. Man, you talking to the real me. Yeah.